Who was the very first man? It's a question that has echoed through firelit caves, ancient temples, medieval libraries, and modern laboratories. Every civilization, from Mesopotamia to China to Africa, has told stories about the first human. Some call him Adam, fashioned by the hands of God. Some call him Manu, saved from the great flood. Others say the first man emerged from clay, from breath, or from the stars themselves. But beyond the myths, science too whispers its version. Evolutionary biology traces us back to early Homo sapiens who walked the African savannas some 200,000 years ago. Archaeology unearths bones, tools, and cave paintings that speak of a lonely beginning, a single species stepping out into an untamed world. This is the story of that first man, a story told not only through the language of religion and myth, but also through fossils, DNA, and the restless curiosity of modern science. Chapter 1. In the Garden of Beginnings, in the Holy Books, the first man was never alone for long. In the biblical tradition, Adam was sculpted from dust by the Creator himself. He opened his eyes in a perfect garden, lush, timeless, abundant. Every fruit was his, every animal bowed to him. Yet the most powerful line in that story is this: "It is not good for man to be alone." Adam's loneliness was so profound that the very concept of companionship was born in response. Eve arrived, and the story of humanity, love, family, desire, betrayal, began. In Mesopotamian myth, a similar tale exists. The god Enki shaped humans from clay to serve the gods. In Greek mythology, Prometheus molded men from earth and water, breathing life into them with stolen fire. Always, the first man was crafted, not random, but chosen. These stories remind us that in myth, the first man was never an accident. He was destiny. Chapter 2. The bones beneath our feet. Science tells a less magical but no less awe-inspiring version. Long before the first man as we know him, there were other beings, our ancestors. Australopithecus afarensis, the species of the famous fossil Lucy, walked upright in Africa 3.2 million years ago. Their brains were small, their lives brutal, but with each generation, intelligence grew. Tools appeared, fire was tamed, tribes formed. Then, around 200,000 years ago, something extraordinary happened. Homo sapiens emerged. Not a single man in a garden, but a population of humans who looked and thought very much like us. Genetics speaks of a man scientists call Y-chromosomal. Adam, he wasn't the only man alive, but he is the ancestor from whom all men today inherit their Y chromosomes. He lived in Africa about 200,000, 300,000 years ago, possibly fishing in rivers, hunting small game, and gathering berries. Unlike the Adam of Scripture, this Adam had no garden of paradise. His world was harsh. Predators stalked the grasslands. Food was uncertain. Survival was fragile. And yet, he endured. Chapter 3. Loneliness and firelight. Imagine the first man not as a mythic figure but as a flesh-and-blood human standing at dusk. The sun falls behind African hills. He clutches a sharpened stone, listening to the cries of hyenas. Around him, others huddle close to a fragile flame. This was the loneliness of the first humans, surrounded by vast wilderness, yet fragile, aware that they were different from the beasts they hunted. For the first time in history, creatures looked at the stars and wondered. Firelight became the first storyteller. Around it, language began to form. Grunts, signs, then words. A man pointed to the sky and said something that meant moon. Another held up a hand and made a sound that meant friend. From loneliness grew communication. From communication grew community. And from community grew the long story of us,